Hello everybody, welcome back to Sunday Berries. Today we will be taking a first look at Schmincke Horadam Naturals Watercolors. These were recently released and they are watercolors completely natural and completely vegan. So let's take a look. The first color is Curcuma. The pigment is NY3. It has 3 stars for light fastness and it is semi-transparent. My first impression on this color was that it wasn't flowing as normal watercolors do, as you can see here. And what I decided to do was to dilute the pigment a little bit further. The diluted version is very nice and soft and flows a lot better than the mass tone that I was trying to do. So in the following swatches, I will be adding a lot more water. Madder Lake. The pigment is NR9. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is semi-transparent. It is a beautiful, beautiful reddish brown or maroon color. Both the mass tone and the diluted versions are absolutely breathtaking. Indigo Fera. The pigment is NB1. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is semi-transparent. And you can tell that I am using a lot more water in these next swatches. There is a lot less streakiness going on. The pigments seem to be a little bit heavy, unlike the way normal watercolors are. However, they don't stop being beautiful colors. Dyer's Green. The pigment is NY3 and NB1. It has 3 stars for light fastness and it is semi-transparent. I find this green absolutely interesting, and even though you can see how the color deposits heavily in areas, it is still a very beautiful color. Still the Grain. The pigment is NY13. It has 2 stars for light fastness. It is transparent and I particularly love this color. Celadonite. Pigment is PG23. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is transparent. Because of their transparency and semi-transparency, these colors seem very, very delicate to me. We are now looking at Yellow Ochre. The pigment is NY43. It has 3 stars for light fastness and this one is semi-opaque. As you can see, I had to use a lot of water to make sure that I was getting the best result here, both in mass tone and the diluted version. Completely beautiful and breathtaking. We're looking at Lavarite Violet. This one has no pigment showing. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is transparent. As you can see, these watercolors tend to be a little bit streaky, but when you add additional water, they manage, and the results are quite beautiful. The way the pigment deposits on the paper, it's quite interesting, regardless of that streakiness, and the streakiness almost settles down. We are looking at Caucasus Earth. The pigment is PG23. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is semi-opaque. And I completely forgot to record this one. So Green Slate, it's PBK 19, 3 stars for light fastness and semi-transparent. Red Bolos is next, and the pigment is PR 102, 3 stars for light fastness and semi-opaque. I love this one. It's quite gorgeous, almost sienna. Now we're taking a look at Kamala. NO2, 4 stars for light fastness, and it is transparent. And as you can see, as long as you're using plenty of water, you are able to reach a really good consistency with these colors. This one is possibly my favorite, Dragon's Blood, and the pigment is NR31. It has 4 stars for light fastness and it is semi-transparent and completely gorgeous. And I have to say that I am a little bit confused because some of these seem to have texture or even granulation, but the tubes do not specify if they do or if they are granulating. I think the pigments are a little bit heavier and the way they deposit create a little bit of texture. However, this one right here, which is Graphite Black, I'm pretty sure that it is granulating because take a look at this. It's just breathtaking. And I found this one to be more like watercolors than all the others. The Graphite Black, it's PBK 10, 4 stars for light fastness, and it is opaque. Love this one so much. Vine Black is now on the screen and the pigment is PBK 8. It has 5 stars for light fastness and it is opaque. And again, if you look at it, you can almost see that texture there. But if you look at Graphite Black right next to it, you can see that it's forming some sort of granulation, which is interesting to me. And the last one is Rugen Chalk, and this is like a titanium white, let's say more like a buff titanium. It has almost a greenish tone to it. Very interesting. The pigment is PW13. It has 5 stars for light fastness and it is transparent. I am glad that we are able to actually see it. I wanted to see what these colors would do if I try to mix them in a strata sort of way. To my surprise, I was seeing that there was no mixing happening. So I added water, as you can see, and tried it again to see how these colors flow in water. They seem to be heavy, so they don't flow as you would expect a watercolor to flow. And also that heaviness, also that transparency makes it look not only streaky, but also a little bit different than normal watercolors. However, I have to say that while this is looking like a hot mess at the moment, it turns quite interesting once it starts to dry. I was really unsure to show this part to you because during the beginning and throughout, it seemed like a hot mess. And obviously, I didn't even do a really good job on painting what I did in the end. But the interesting thing about this and trying to mix the colors together and see how they flow, which was the purpose of doing this exercise, showed me that these colors seem to be heavier than watercolor. They don't flow as normal watercolors would flow in water, and they don't mix a lot together. I had to go over the first side with a ton of water. As you can see, it's pooling there. They pretty much stay put wherever you lay them. So I think these watercolors require a little bit of working, and in my opinion, the best way that they will work is by using a lot of water, meaning diluting them a lot and working with them in a very dilute manner and then creating layers over layers. However, as you can see here, they did create some sort of texture. Is it granulation? I don't know. Is it particles from the plants or the natural minerals that they used for these watercolors? I am not sure. But I can tell you that either it's the way these watercolors are, or by diluting them with water, they form some sort of texture. But I find it absolutely beautiful. And now that I think about it, it's really a shame that I actually started trying to do some florals that I am terrible at and create something for this video, because I think that the result of what I did, even though it looked like a mess in the beginning, you can see here that it's filled with texture, and you can see how the colors behave next to one another and how it all evolved into something quite beautiful. So now I'm super curious about these colors. I'm not ready to give up on them, because even though I do prefer the normal watercolors, these vegan watercolors have something quite interesting. As you can see, even here, if you look at that corner, it's incredibly beautiful the way the texture just happened, just using a lot of water and combining the colors. I decided to do some extra work on these, and I shouldn't have. I should have left it as they were so you could see exactly what I'm talking about. To take the most advantage of these colors is, number one, work on 100% cotton paper like I am doing here. It will yield better results. I did use distilled water to ensure the best result possible. Also, I truly, truly, truly believe that these watercolors need a lot of water, and because of their transparent nature, because most of them are either semi-transparent or transparent, I think that the best way to work with them is in a very diluted versions. So that is my recipe and my advice. I think you will enjoy these colors if you're into history and natural pigments. I think that these colors are quite amazing. Are they for me? I don't know. I do prefer the normal watercolors, but take a look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at the range of colors. And here I am showing you a close-up where you can see the texture or the way the pigment lays on the paper. It's quite interesting, something that I cannot pinpoint in terms of how beautiful they are. And once again, my favorite, dragon's blood, and next to it, that beautiful granulation. And both blacks, I think they granulate. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really do find them amazing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. With that said, my friends, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Be kind to one another, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, bye.